Welcome to Of Course She Did, a Vancouver Island Knitters podcast where we chat about craft, connection, and our unique coastal community. We're four friends who have decided to include you as we knit boldly, make mistakes proudly, and finish projects eventually.
My name's Julia, and I get to knit with everyone in person today.
Woo, of course she does.
Welcome, Julia.
Why, thank you.
So we have our first in-person guest, our first ever guest, never mind whether it's in person or not, our first in-person guest, and it's Julia.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited. We've been hounding and stalking and nagging her for a few months, and she's so patient with us.
Well, the inception of your podcast conveniently coincided with me just returning to work after maternity leave. So there was a little bit of schedule shuffling happening early on. But thank you for being patient.
Fair enough. So we specifically wanted to interview you because you are the owner of the oldest and I think I can fairly say for all of us, the most frequented yarn store.
Most recognized yarn store.
Yes.
I'd say most
Yes.
recognized.
So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you come from? And
So, my name's Julia. I'm born and raised here in Victoria, and I'm the kind of caretaker of a historical yarn shop. So my store is Beehive Wool Shop. We were founded in 1906.
wow.
It wasn't my family, but it's always been locally owned by different Victoria families. And my stepmom bought it in 1999, thereabouts. Back when it was like a little, like, I don't know if you cast your mind back to the 90s, and it was like Pattons, Baldwin, yarns, pamphlets everywhere. And we lived in Oak Bay, and the Beehive was this kind of like little grandma's yarn shop full of, little dusty pamphlets and stuff like that. And
those patents.
Yeah, right. The free.
I feel like it was smaller back
It was
then.
tiny. It
I
was
do
teeny
remember
tiny.
that in the 90s.
Yeah.
You were the only one here in the 90s.
Probably.
Yeah,
And the rest of us are imports.
Yes, yeah, it's quite rare to be a born and raised in Victoria. But yeah, so the store's been around forever, and so what she very foolishly thought, as the mother of 4 kids who were now all at school, that she had so much free time. So why not buy?
Little did she know.
Why not just buy this yarn shop? She'll be home for dinner. The girls can all work in the store. It'll be, very copacetic. And no, that's not really what happened. She ended up moving the store back downtown, which is where it was originally. And that was in 2002. And when that happened, it was really at the dawn of the end of the hand dye scene, and then right at the beginning, kind of early internet, the beginning of the indie designer scene. And so she just was in the right place at the right time to build this amazing destination yarn shop in a fabulous town that understood how to support local, and had the tourists coming in.
And the location, location
fabulous
is
location.
incredible.
But I think that's the location I went to. So that must have been in the early 2000s. But was it half the size of what it is now?
It probably even smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably
That
even
was
smaller.
the original I saw.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, your building actually holds a lot of curiosity for me because it's pretty special. Do you know some of the history of that building?
Oh, totally. Yeah. So the building is actually predates Canada. It's from 1864, I think, is when it was built. And there's images, if you go back into the archives, of basically downtown Victoria, quote unquote, downtown Victoria, Fort Victoria at the time. And it's like a mud flat. And then this beautiful red brick building rising out of the nothing. And the city has basically been built around this building. And so it was the original Freemasons temple. That's how it was built. The whole where my store is, which is quite a pretty big square footage, that was part of the temple. The upstairs of the temple, they still own the building. They are my landlords. And the upstairs is now just the Masonic temple. I am not allowed there. My stepmom has never been there in 25 years. It is all very hush-hush. If you ever work there late, there's stomping and weird noises.
Wow, that's interesting.
What, you have never crept up there to check?
No.
Are there ghosts?
Oh my God, Erin and I would be up there in a heartbeat.
I get asked a lot about ghosts. I have worked there late enough times. There's no ghosts. There's definitely not. I know. But every once in a while, I'll have someone wander into the building and be like, did you know that this building is on these lines of energy? And like, it happens like once a year that I have someone coming in and telling me about like something weird about the building.
So you're not
Yeah,
part
if
of the
I die,
local
I'm
you're not part of the local ghost tour then.
No one has fallen out of the top of the building.
No.
Which is
Aaron,
what most of that ghost
Maybe
that
you
ghost
should
walk
sleep
is.
in Julia's store for your birthday.
I don't
There we
know.
go, yeah.
I for my 50th, my request, which is probably impossible, was to sleep in the old Maritime Museum.
Oh yeah, that would be so cool.
But so I'm really kind of surprised because your building is so old.
yes, I
that
think the Freemasons
there's
have
no
some sort of
stories.
cosmic connection. I don't know. I just made that up. But,
When did you start knitting though, Julia?
so, I mean, really, it was as soon as she bought the yarn shop, I would stop. It was on my stop from elementary school on the way home. So now I'm going to out my age here because you'll put it together. So I was not 8 or 9 when she bought the store.
None of us do math. You're safe.
Perfect. For yarn math only.
You're 29. You met 29 for sure.
So I was like 8 or 9, and so I'd stop in on my way after school, and she'd teach me how to knit. There's a few ladies at the shop there, Bridget and Keitha, who would teach me how to knit. And then I would like do the cash deposit. That was the other thing I would do at the end of the day, reconcile the till. Yeah, math practice.
You really grew up being such a part of it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It was great. And then I lived in Ontario, so it's my step family. I'm part of a blended family, so I moved away for many years. I established my, when you're in high school, I wasn't knitting. I think that's one thing too. I don't know the age demographic of your listeners, but one thing that
It might just be our mothers. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
our mothers, perfect, husbands, cousins, friends. Thank you.
So average is 50.
Perfect. So what people of our generation might not realize is that now knitting and crochet is like super trendy. Everyone does it in schools. I'm sure you guys can probably relate that in our generations, it was not like that.
No, not at all.
I was the only one wearing a homemade sweater at 16.
I was the nerd knitting in high school and
Yes.
university.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
my
would
grandmother taught me.
Yeah, I remember knitting and like knitting at high school events and people being like, what are you doing? Like they didn't even understand what I was doing, let alone could share in it.
So you kept knitting though throughout high school.
I did,
in
but
college.
it was like, really, it was like a cowl, a scarf.
Yeah.
It was a few projects every year.
Yes.
And what part of Ontario? Because 3 of us are from Ontario.
Ottawa.
Okay.
Yes.
I moved here from Ottawa.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I lived in Ottawa at the same time as Tanya. We took one of the same classes,
so
but we never
eerie.
knew each other.
Eerie. I love that.
The divine connection.
Yeah. So it was always just something I was around. But if I'm honest, I was never like a dedicated, practiced knitter. That was just something, it was a part of my life, but I really took it for granted. And then I'm the youngest of 4 daughters. So when I was kind of hit a point in my career, and this is now flash forward 20 years or whatever, in 2018, I hit a standing point in my marketing career, and she had reached an age where she had grandkids. She could see the e-commerce shift in retail coming down the pipeline, and she was just didn't want to didn't have the energy to
deal with
reinvent the wheel a third time in her career. And so she said, hey, you're the last daughter. I've offered it to the other 3. None of them had any interest. I need someone to take over the store. If you don't do it, I'm going to sell.
Do your
And-
siblings also knit?
No,
No.
none of them do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sacrilegious.
Yeah. And so she invited me to join her for a year and said, no pressure. You have to like it. You have to understand it. And if it's not a cultural fit, it's never going to work. So come and join for a year, and then we'll sit and we'll talk. And then I blinked and a year had gone by, and that was it. Like it was just, I was in. Like as soon as
Wow.
Did it feel like coming home?
It was really weird to get into a store and realize that my stepmom had a whole bunch of other kids. Like that was the crazy thing, was to walk in and realize the culture that she had put in the Beehive.
That
It
she was the mother of many?
Yeah, like it was so positive. And like
Wow.
everyone, like every single staff member, every customer who came in understood the value that she places on the customer experience, about the mutual respect, about service above everything. And so I really feel like I walked in and I kind of have this beautiful, positive yarn engine, like a knitting engine that I just get to support. And so everything I do is to kind of build and support something that she's created.
How do you, sorry, can I ask?
Yeah.
How do you keep that culture going in your staff? How do they learn things? Do they have to go through a class? How do you continue that culture of total acceptance and love and respect?
It starts from day one. Like it starts number one, it starts with who we hire. Do they have the passion for knitting? Are they
Yes.
true knitters or crocheters? Do they understand what it means to the customer? That it's not just coming in and buying a t-shirt, that this is like an emotional experience that someone's going to devote 50 or
I love
60 or
that.
70 hours to, that if we make a
Yes.
mistake, we own that mistake. Like I've had people come in and say, you sold me yarn for the wrong gauge. I'll do a return on a work in progress if I gave them the wrong advice. So it's like the staff understand the weight of the advice that they give.
Right.
I mean, the other thing too is that like as an employer, I ask a lot of my staff in terms of like the people who work on the front, the level of expertise that we expect them to have is just so far and above the average retail environment. So you may notice if you come to the Beehive that there's a crazy amount of staff on the floor at any one time.
I totally noticed that.
Yeah,
I was like,
so-
wow, that's a lot of staff. And it didn't
is.
appear to be overly busy when I was in there at that moment.
Yeah, totally. So we always do that because, I mean, all our customers wait outside and then they all come in at the same time.
Yeah.
So it'll be dead and then there'll be 20 people on the floor and everyone needs help. So, part of it is making sure that every single person who comes in is greeted right away, that they have a really one-on-one experience. The average amount of time that someone spends in my store is over 20 minutes.
Right.
So
We spend a lot of time.
totally, yeah. And that's like the people ducking in and out for a needle, which takes 2 seconds. And then the people who are there for 3 hours putting together like a full color layout on my tables.
That's Erin. That's Erin right there.
I also have done that and had phenomenal. So I absolutely adore what you said about the emotional experience of curating a project that you are putting your heart and soul into.
Oh yeah, totally.
And that you curate that in your staff is what sets you above.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're like, I'm just so on, like I run a retail store. So there's very obvious limitations in terms of how much I can pay people, for instance. So I let my staff know, I can't afford to pay you what you're worth is the truth. So you're always going to have backup on the floor. You're never going to be harassed if you have to call out sick. This should have, the fact that I pay you $17.85 means that that's where it should take its place in your life. So if your kid is sick or your parents are sick or something happens, this should not be your top priority. Like
Good for
that's truly how I feel. So I make sure that I have 5 staff on the floor so that we're not pulling our hair out. Right.
And I felt that when we walked in,
Amazing.
like the support right away, definitely. And the knowledge. And then there's one woman carrying around her knitting in her bag, while she's talking to people. And then, it was quiet when we first arrived. And like you said, more people came in. And then, but you always felt like there was somebody you could ask. You never felt like you had to stand around and go, excuse me.
Yeah.
When you're done, can you help me?
Yeah,
There was somebody
totally.
there.
Yeah, that's what we're known for, is like kind of harassing our customers. Are you sure you don't need help? I'd really like to help you.
Do you want to brag about some of your staff specialties? Are there
my gosh,
a couple of
there's-
people
Yes.
that you want to kind of, what's the other word for call out, highlight?
Yeah,
Don't
praise,
call them out.
Is there anyone who
praise.
is super amazing at color or super amazing at patterns?
This
or-
I don't know if I could, because honestly, everyone is so good at their own speciality. And what happens is when you get like 15 or 20 people in the same building who all have the same passion and all have like different areas of concentration, we learn from each other so quickly.
I
So my staff, even if they join and they when I hire them, they have no experience with color, within 6 months, they are color experts because they've
Yes.
been working with people like Rowan, or Rowan, who is a fabulous colorist.
Can we call out Rowan?
Yeah, so
My-
Rowan is amazing at color work. Like they are, and like their special interest is knitting and fiber, and so they just go all in.
So my husband came in at Christmas to buy me a present, and Rowan was the person who helped him and went above and beyond, like to the point where my husband said, "Okay, that's enough. I'm good."
Yeah.
Like my husband said, "Please make sure you call out Rowan because they were phenomenal
Oh,
at
I'm
helping
so
me.
glad. And yeah, I think anyone who's listening would be very upset if I didn't call out Michelle, who celebrates her 10-year anniversary working at the shop next month.
Way to go, Michelle.
Yeah, so she's like, she teaches beginner knit. So she takes so many people from the very first step of their knitting journey, and then kind of cultivates that skill set, through to, double
Imagine
knitting
that
or whatever it is.
gratification of
Yeah.
seeing someone start here and what they become.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's like a knitting mama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's it. That's
Is
how we
she
feel.
your
Michelle.
longest employee?
Yes. Yes.
That speaks a lot when somebody's been with you for 10 years.
Yes. Yeah.
speaks
Oh, yeah.
volumes.
That's when most of my staff, and that's kind of the other thing too, is that like I had there's certain people who've been there for a long time, but now I have these new employees, and they're all like young Gen Z knitters, and like I love them so much. So just because I'm not praising one particular person, might because they're new, not because they're not fabulous.
Yeah.
Well,
Amazing.
it sounds like you are the guardian of not just like a yarn legacy, but like you said, a culture of, and not just knitters, but of a community.
Oh, that's how I feel. Like I feel like there's just seems to have been, I don't know, a real degradation of, to put it bluntly,
community.
community,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
for me as a retailer, it's like customer service, but it's not. It's about like respect and grace and, understanding. Like people call the phone, call me on the phone and ask a question. It's like, well, you made the decision to call a human, so we're gonna fix whatever the problem is, right?
Yeah.
Do you do anything specific to cultivate a community within the bigger picture, not just in your store, but also within our bigger city?
That is that has been probably one of the biggest stumbling blocks that I've had as a business owner, is the amount of fabulous ideas and opportunities that I have that I can't take because I have a profit requirement. And by
Yeah.
profit, what I actually mean, because when I scridge out my monthly mortgage payment, I'm not, we're not talking a huge profit here. But what I mean is my ability to put money back into the business, my ability to pay my staff more. That's really the only thing I'm ended up doing.
And there's no shame of making a living.
Well, it just means like for me, it's like there's these two different things. And so there's often times where I get people in, why don't you have a knit night at my store, which we've never done? Why don't I do certain things? And the honest answer, which sounds so jaded, is like, well, I'm a retail store. I'm not a community center. Right.
Yeah.
And that sucks because there's so many good ideas and there's so many opportunities and so many people who come to me who say, I need a community or I need support and I don't have it. And this is a kind of a great segue that you've just given me.
I was just gonna say, therefore, which leads to
So you guys, I actually have the opportunity now to expand past the brick and mortar store to a new space. We've partnered with the City of Victoria through the funding provided by a program they have where they're actually helping me put together a fiber arts center in downtown Victoria. So we kind of have a soft launch now. I've had a couple smaller events in it, but the space is now officially open to be booked. And basically, it's just a free open space where any social group, club, fiber arts association, business, whoever it is, can rent the space for free and host their own events.
Wow.
for free.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That
Of course,
That's
she did
amazing.
needs to
Yeah,
have a
oh.
knit night.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely. That would be so cool.
So we at the
No, so it's like literally, so you just go on my website and there's a calendar and you can pick what spot you want in the place or the whole place and when, it's open. And we,
wow.
So we could do Erin's overnight sleepover there.
Only if it's haunted.
we need ghosts.
so it's in, I don't know about this one. This is it's in the Capitol 6 building, which is this old, it's like a 1950s, I think 1960s.
The Capitol, like on the corner of Yates and
Yeah, the movie theater. So we're in the
It's-
back side of it on
So-
View and Blanchard.
Erin and I had the pleasure of meeting Chantel, and I'm not even going to try and say her last name.
Yeah.
at her book signing there, and it's a big space.
Yeah. So it's Chantal Miyagishima, just so you know.
Miyagishima, thank you. I didn't want to try and say it.
No,
and
she's
butcher it.
amazing. She just came and presented her her sweater book, and yeah, she's so charming, so lovely. And yeah, it was so nice to have that space. Not that I could be there. I was home with the flu that day, but it was very
I'm
upsetting.
sorry. She was fun. She's lovely.
Yeah.
She's agreed to be on our podcast as well, actually.
Fabulous.
I know. She is super fun. And what excites me about Chantal is she's taken this craft that we all, like, I obsess about regularly, as I know my fellow podcasters do, and she's made a living out of it, which is also what you've done, is taking, and isn't that kind of what we all want, is to take our passion and make it our living? But when we were in the space, there wasn't a lot of furniture or things like that. Do you have plans for it in that regard?
Yes. So we're we accept, everything is by donation. Everything is volunteer run. So all the pieces that you see there now have been generously donated by our customers. If anyone has couches, tables, chairs, anything, I've actually got a list on my website of things that we're accepting. So yeah, we'd love to fill up the space. The other thing too is that a lot of the walls are empty right now because I have applications in for local fiber artists who can display their items either for sale
fantastic.
or just for display. Yeah.
What a great idea.
Just a multi-dimensional support of local artistry
Yes,
on multiple levels.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
phenomenal. This is
What a vision.
like Tatiana said, it was a big surprise. This to me is like, yeah.
Yeah. And so part of the reason that we just opted to do it, there was like a very one little teeny tiny practical as a store owner, which was that we have totally run out of space for our classes.
Yeah.
So we have classes every night in the store, all fall, winter, and spring. And they're completely booked. We teach over 100 people how to knit and crochet every year. We have over 500 people who do advanced level courses every year. And we still have people who can't get into classes, who want to come in the daytime, like all these things. And so we're like, okay, how do I do this? So we've been hunting for an offsite space for a couple of years, actually. And
How
then
did
this
it
opportunity
come into group that you would work with the city on that space?
It was just came from honestly conversations like this. Like it's the 120th anniversary of the shop next year, and so I was having conversations with people at the city about ways that I wanted to expand the store and making sure that my belief in how the store should grow was going to align with the vision of the city, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so through those conversations, they let me know about this funding program. And then I met with Jal Properties, and they had this space that was 5,000 square feet. So what I was imagining was, a little corner shop where I could fit in a couple tables, and then all of a sudden the space was offered to me for the price of a tiny little shop, and I was like, okay, well, I can't fill this alone. Hopefully the city can. Yeah.
And look how it's grown. Yeah.
That is so great. That's such an exciting story.
So it's all run through your business, though, to rent it out?
Yes, it is all run through my business. Yep. Yeah. And that's basically from the viewpoint of the city, we act as their service provider for a community space.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you are a community center now.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I'm slowly but surely pivoting this very traditional store into what some modern business person will call like a social enterprise, right?
Isn't that kind of what is best about knitting?
Yes. And
to
just,
me,
and just women-owned businesses in general too, I think, right? Like that's the other.
Well, I guess any fiber arts doesn't have to be knitting. Any fiber arts is about, at least that's what we based our podcast on, is the community and the connection and the friendship and the. So I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
And I saw a client today for a treatment in her home. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I see when I walk in is her caregiver, who's with her all day, who's got a pale blue knitting on the couch. Oh. And then I look over at my client, who's sitting in a large armchair, similar to what you're sitting in, Julia.
Yeah.
And she has a mitten on the edge of her couch, and she's got a bag of yarn beside her in an old-fashioned knitting caddy, similar to what you obsess about.
I'm obsessed with the old-fashioned knitting caddies.
This woman is 93.
Oh, yeah.
And she is so beautiful. And I said, you're a knitter. And so we started talking about knitting. She is knitting mitts to give to, I'm going to blank. What's the street?
Our Place, perhaps?
Our Place. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Our Place is what it is. And I couldn't bring that name up. So she's knitting mittens to give to our place. And I said, "How funny, we're knitting hats for homeless ourselves." And she was just so kind and amazing. And I brought out this shawl that I found at a Sally Ann. And it's not one I knit, it's one I found there. And I could not bear to leave it there because somebody obviously spent hours and hours knitting this. And I just had to purchase it. So I showed it to her and she's looking at it. She's pulling it and picking it apart and looking at the pattern. And so then I spent half an hour longer there with her than I should have because we're talking about knitting. And that's what knitting is to me. It's connection and communication. And it's what women do best. And I know we have lots of men who do it really well too, but I feel like it's women's strength.
Yeah. No argument here.
Yeah. Do you have any yarn store etiquette tips or do's and don'ts? Any kind of
yes, actually I have a big one that just popped into my head.
Yes, please.
If you have a consultation with a family member or friend, please do not go on speakerphone FaceTime in my store when it's already really busy. It's crazy. Like the sound goes all the way back to the offices, the whole store, and then we'll just politely go over and be like, "Hi, can I help with anything?" And they always inevitably go, no, I'm fine, and continue on wandering about. So that would be my number one, speakerphone conversation.
Do not put it on speakerphone.
That's any store. Oh my god. Ever. Bus. Yeah.
Yeah, bus.
Yeah.
The other one would be, we always love to help everyone if we can. That is not always possible in the moment. So
sometimes you're busy.
Yeah, sometimes people hit a snag in their work, and I think sometimes the expectation or like the anxiety that they have about fixing it kind of carries into the interaction that they have with my staff about, no, I need to fix this right now. And, my beautiful staff are trying to juggle 6 different things at the same time. So,
that's reasonable.
Doesn't always work.
It can be very anxiety producing when something's not working in your yarn.
And that's the thing that sucks too, is that like we get it, and then we sit with the person, and then it's like 45 minutes later, and we're like, well, I started, so I have to figure this yarn puzzle out.
Otherwise, you won't be able to sleep.
Yeah. And I say that, but like every single person in my staff, we all do it. Like we can't resist the call.
Yeah. I'm sorry you can't leave yet. I haven't solved your problem.
Exactly. No, your bus will come again. Don't worry. Yes, I'm trying to think. I think that's it for yarn. I mean, knitters are so lovely. Like all of my customers are patient. They give each other help in the store. Like they talk to each other, they support each other.
And then you try and hire them?
Have several times quite successfully.
Wow.
I was just going to say, I actually have been asked if I would like to work there by one of your
there you
staff.
go. Yeah.
And I actually would adore to work there. However, my mortgage does not. I am retiring, but that's just from nursing. I think a yarn store would be a great retirement.
You know what?
job.
That's a lot of my employees are retired professionals. 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't need the 1785.
No,
What I need
Get paid
is
in yarn.
Oh.
That's
think
Aaron's
Julia
dream.
would be broke.
Let's be honest, that's Aaron's dream.
I was going to also, that's more than 1785 an hour, let's be honest.
I'll give you the list of brands you
My-
can follow around.
Yeah, my taste,
Acrylic.
my thirst is ridiculous. Is there a certain fiber that you would love to carry in the store, but it's like the unicorn of fibers and you can't get it or source it anywhere?
Oh, that's hard. I don't know. There's so many. A lot of things that I would love to carry in the store. Oh my gosh, this is really hard. So the thing about my store that many people may not know, but I'll just let you guys know, is that basically what I try to do from a catalog perspective is ensure that I hit as many different kind of fiber categories or unique characteristics within a weight category. So if I've got my worsted weight, well, then I need, long gradient, short color change, superwash, non-superwash, blow, chainette, tight twist, loose roving style, like all these different things. And then I try to do that in every single weight category. And then, of course, there's the other things that we can't resist and that we just bring in. And then, and every single time we make a decision, we look at it and we go, is this yarn providing the best bang for our buck for our customers?
You say we, is there a bunch of you that
Yes.
create these decisions together?
Yeah, there's about 5 of us that sit, which is an insane amount of people to make decisions for a yarn store. But we
Yes.
all have different tastes and we all like knitting different things. So we get different, I think we get
But
a good.
that's so valuable because it does, as a person who shops in your store many times, there is a huge variety
Yes.
and selection there.
Yeah, and oftentimes
That's-
people wonder, like, oh, why don't you carry this brand? I usually have a sub that's less expensive. That's honestly why. Yeah, so
That's good to know.
so always ask. That's why, that's a good, like, not yarn store etiquette, but yarn store tip is that often, especially, I think experienced knitters get yarn subs intuitively.
Yes.
But oftentimes people get hung up on, I need this particular yarn, and, like,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
me.
a yarn shop does, is we do yarn substitute. We're yarn sub
That's
experts.
totally me.
Yeah.
And it did come in there going, I have this pattern. It calls for this yarn. You don't have this yarn.
Yes, totally, yeah.
And
But if I looked at that
somebody
yarn and I
wonderful was
thought, why would someone pay $20 for this when I can get it for $12? I'll never bring it in.
but it was great. Like,
Right?
here's the substitutions. Here's the 3 colors you want. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh yeah, and we know you wanted that yarn, so we swatched it against that. So there's proof that it will work in your pattern. Like, we swatch everything before we bring it in.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who
Nice.
does that?
I have a few different well, the honest answer is whoever's most excited about the yarn.
So any one of your staff,
But it's
really?
usually either Siobhan or Susan who do our sample program, because that's like the what'll
That's
help
their
us.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siobhan is one of my favorites.
Siobhan's fabulous. Yes. Oh my gosh. She's so,
Yeah.
oh my God, I love
She's
Siobhan.
been extremely, I want to say helpful, but I'm going to say dangerous in pointing out some really fantastic selections. So
She makes you spend money. Is that what you're trying to say?
against my will.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have, like, I mean, okay, we're supposed to be interviewing Julia, but I mean, do you guys have favorite parts of Beehive that you want to share? Just from a customer's appreciation?
I like the sale rack when I went in there.
Your clearance section is phenomenal. And what I
Yes.
really love is that you often have more.
Yes.
That
yes.
it's not just what's there. Oh, there's only 3 of these. What the heck am I going to do?
No,
Like,
I basically have like a second store in backstock.
yeah.
And that's what I found. Like,
So
I think it was 5 or 6 skeins of this. Yeah.
Customers should always say, do you have a sweater quantity?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's
we usually
great.
do.
Which not a lot of people know,
Ask.
but I
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
And,
Ask.
and
Always.
Always ask.
I love your clearance section. Anything else, guys?
I was going to ask, do you find that the age range of people coming in is now younger?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yes. No hesitation.
There's not like grandma hobbies anymore. It's
No,
it's the
and
new
actually,
thing,
if I'm
isn't it?
honest, there's been a total generational flip since I've been there since 2018. Like, when I used to start there were so many lovely elderly ladies in their 80s, and a lot of those ladies aren't coming down as much anymore, and it's full of super hip and very confusing Gen Zs.
It's actually, it's a thing to do a grandma hobby. It's
Yes.
now, that's actually a cool term, I believe.
Grandma hobby, yes.
A grandma
Actually,
hobby.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys something. I went and taught knitting at UVic a couple weeks ago, and I got feedback from my teaching, and one of the people said, I loved learning with Julia. She was so nice and calm. It was like learning from my Nana. It's like, I've never gotten that before. I think that's a compliment.
I'm not that old, goddammit.
Maybe.
You're a safe place. You're a
Yes.
safe place. Do you have a yarn store that inspires you? Like, have you been to a yarn store that you find very inspirational or?
Ooh, every yarn store I find inspirational. Every yarn store, there's something I walk in and I'm like, ooh, that's nice. Or, oh, I wish I had the space to
Yes.
do that. Or,
That's what Erin and Jody are like.
yeah.
Tanya and I are relatively new. So we're kind of like, anyway, that's good.
Yeah.
We haven't reached that level, I think, of expertise and appreciation.
Yeah. I
for
think
it.
that's it. Like, I think most knitting stores are so determined by the people who work there and the people who own it that you can always tell, like, their passion in terms of, like, what yarns they bring in or what they're featuring. I'm always jealous of other store samples. Even though I have a bajillion, I always want more.
It really, As a knitter who I'm a visual learner as well as, and I can see the yarn and I can visualize it as a finished product.
Yeah.
But also when there is a finished item in that,
Yeah.
it definitely encourages.
That's what sells me is that finished product.
Yes.
I haven't reached that point where I can envision it yet. The finished product is what
Yeah.
sells me.
Yeah, we do over 100 new samples every year. Like it's wild how many we do.
Is that what your staff is doing then? If they're saying they're knitting, are they typically knitting?
No.
Good
They
question.
often, most of the sample knitters we have are contractors. So some of my employees
interesting.
knit, but then I also have like a whole team that are my unsung heroes.
And they
that-
knit samples for you.
Yeah, they knit samples and get paid in store credit.
Can
Apply
I
today.
have that job?
Apply today, but you should know we're real sticklers about hitting gauge and swatching. and all these
Jody's
little
working on
things.
her master knitters. What do you call it?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I would
Masters
be.
in knitting.
It would take me 5 years to finish the swatch, and I'd unravel it 5 times.
That's my school of knitting. Yes.
At least
Yes.
5
But,
times a week, maybe.
I mean, the back end of this is that as we're sitting here, everyone's working on their knitting, and I had one weird stitch that I've now unraveled. I have no idea what I've done, but I can't keep knitting now, so I'm just gonna. Anyway, we're fine.
You fucked it up.
Yes, this is where we all swear and then threaten to quit knitting
Perfect. I'll
forever.
just focus on the.
What are
glass of
you
wine
knitting
gave
these
me.
days?
There
Like,
you
what is
go.
your big
Enjoy
project
your
right now?
wine.
Oh, my projects are short and mindless. That's my.
I
true-
love
You
that.
have young babies.
Yeah, I've got young kids and kids at my store, my big kid, which
Yeah.
is the
Biggest
store,
baby,
and
yes.
my husband's an entrepreneur as well. So basically, by the time I get home and my 45 minutes of consciousness, I'm like Sophie scarf,
Nice.
ribbed toques, yeah, totally. And then like I have one lovely big shawl that I'm working on, but I really have to look at the chart as I'm working on it, and it's I like just keep on taking it out of the bag and looking at it and then putting it back.
That's why the anchor tee is very mindless. The anchor tee is
Yes,
a
I know.
mindless.
There's
knit.
social and then there's antisocial knitting.
Totally,
Because
exactly.
Wes knits,
Yes.
Stephen West, all his shawls are like that. Like, I really want to knit you, but I'm not alone
Yeah, I can
enough
feel
to
my
do
brain expanding as I'm looking at this pattern.
He's just so flamboyant and great. I just
Totally.
love him.
Oh yeah, you just have to hold on and trust.
Yeah.
Do you-
yes.
Like with all of these projects in mind, like is there like a wish or a vision of what could happen in the new space with the thoughts of all of these kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I have my 10-year plan for what the Beehive will be, and it involves ensuring that it's supporting and creating that community of knitters. And so a lot of what we're doing in the new space is kind of testing what groups need support, what groups have barriers that we can help with. A huge piece is kids classes and kids knitting. That's a huge program that
Suck
we have.
them in while they're young. They'll
100%,
spend
and that's
all
it.
their
Yeah,
life.
I have like the community side of me, and then there's the cold hard capitalist that's like, get the knitters while they're young. And
But isn't totally
The 10-year plan, all right.
teach them to knit? They'll knit forever.
Exactly. Yes.
And just indoctrinate
Julia,
them
you're
with
brilliant.
the Beehive.
100%.
You
This is
only
it.
shop at the
Oh, you guys have
Beehive.
discovered my plan.
This is
So that would be the biggest thing is kind of like developing that so that it's so it's stable, so that it can just keep going and providing more jobs. That's the other thing too.
in some countries like Estonia. Do they do it in Norway, Ingrid, where they learn knitting in the schools?
No, I didn't go to school
So
there.
why
Yes,
are
they
all
do.
our
And they used to do it in
elementary-
Canada too.
Yeah, why aren't all our elementary schools teaching that? It's just
That's a
there is not a
big
single
thing for
member
me.
of my family that knits, and it shocks me to no end that none of your sisters knitting.
Yeah.
Shame
No,
on
I
all
know.
you girls. Oh no shaming.
It's okay. I shame my sisters all the time. Absolutely.
You're allowed
and
to,
then they
though.
look at me and then they're like, "Can you knit my kid a hat?" I'm like, "No, you have this. You know, they all know how to knit. They all
GFY.
taught.
GFY.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite parts about Beehive, especially since I spent a lot of money there, is your points.
The points, yes,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because
Yes,
that is
honey
like
points.
my
They're key.
favorite.
So every dollar you spend, you get 2 points. You get 500 points, you get $10 off. 900 points, you get $25 off. 1,600 points, you get $50 off. Basically, yeah, it's a.
Do you want to know how much I get
think-
off my next
I think
purchase?
Oh my
Aaron said
God.
$200.
Oh my God. Yeah. I know. That's the thing too, is that there's so many people, listeners, who are hoarding honey points. They use
Don't
them.
all come at once.
Yeah. Well, use them. Like people are like, I know, but I'm waiting. There's no perfect. Just use them.
It's valued the same amount of value now
Yes.
as it is tomorrow.
Honey hoarders.
Exactly.
That's a
Yeah.
whole new thing.
It's hard because I think I go in there like I got some just plain boring wool for a
Yes.
stocking for a nephew.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use it on that.
No, it
I
has to
want
be.
to use it
That's
on
actually, I say that.
me.
It has to be a personal project.
Yeah,
I hate
and-
when people use their honey points for gifts. That's my.
So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for something spectacular.
Yes.
Although I got myself into a bit of trouble. Was that at Christmas? Just after
When?
Christmas?
When aren't you in trouble?
like every
Come on,
time
Aaron.
we spend money on yarn. Aaron and I went to Knit City. We were outrageous. Can I just say, both of
Yep.
us?
But was it the after Christmas sale? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's an like Boxing
December
Day sale.
27th. Yeah.
It was so good.
Double honey
It
points.
was
100%
so
expect
good.
all of us there.
Can you,
Yeah.
get, can you do honey points? Like, can you order online? Because I think I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
I got to plan
you
something
do.
now.
Yeah.
Order online.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I have a fun question. Color trends happen in
Yes.
decorating and clothing. How, I presume, color trends happen in yarn also. So how do
Yes.
you keep yourself aware of that, and how do you stay ahead of it?
Oh, I mean, it's hard because, yes, color trends happen everywhere. Victoria is always going to be like, we're so funny and West Coasty. And so
Yes.
there's certain colors that will never work here. Like for instance, blues are blues, teals are really, really popular here. If you talk to knitting store owners of like knitting shops in the prairies, it's yellows, golds. Like it's
Here,
yeah,
the
and like
ocean
100%,
here, the
100%.
wheat there.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So it's really funny local things where I think because of where we are, everyone's just drawn to those watercolors.
Well, you think the prairies and like the wheat.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
that,
yeah.
Like when we went
it's
to
like
Iceland.
the terroir of knitting or something, right? Yeah.
When we went to Iceland, the colors in the yarn was very reminiscent of the landscape.
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Definitely.
And actually, and we noticed that too, like when we're talking about color trends, the yarn is from all over the world. And so I have to make sure that I carry yarn companies that are from different places because Spanish yarn companies have totally different color palettes than
Yeah.
Swedish yarn companies or German or whatever it is.
Yes.
And they look good on different skin tones and they, they're kind of like for different design aesthetics. So having a lot of people at the table when we're choosing colors, I try to make sure we've got a lot of options.
You have different options, yeah.
That is a lot to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we have
it's
a
insane.
huge
Yeah.
trade in tourism in Victoria.
Yeah.
So, do you try and carry a particularly Canadian group of yarns that will feed the tourism?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, every summer we
What do
bring
they
in.
like?
Well, I mean, anything Canadian for sure. The Canadian
Okay.
hand dyes. I mean, sock yarn. It's always sock yarn.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
That trend, it's that hand, like single skein projects, the sock skins.
It's
that-
not super expensive to buy, but
No.
you've bought something
It's
local. It's
yeah.
your
Souvenir.
souvenir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your souvenir.
You can 400 meters is enough to do something with. Yeah, so we find like a souvenir
No.
skein.
Aaron's in horror.
It's always fingering
didn't
weight.
somebody
It's never
tell me
worsted
this?
weight.
Erin's totally sweater quantity in every country she goes.
I took an extra
Aaron, you'll
suitcase.
actually knit your yarn. I question whether the souvenir skeins get knit.
Right.
Or
You are
just-
100%
Yeah.
correct because I have skeins that I bought in Arizona when I went to visit my mother-in-law, and they're beautiful orange Arizona,
Right?
green of a
Yes.
cactus and a cream color, and they're still fucking sitting on my shelf
100%.
because I need the perfect project. Go ahead.
I am actually knitting with the yarn I bought in Iceland.
Oh, there you
right
go.
Now,
Yeah.
right now.
Good
Yeah.
job, Tom.
So have you traveled around like the world and seen different, like gone to different
all the
yarn
time. I'm
stores?
constantly jet setting.
I can tell.
Iron fire! Now your pants on fire.
Yeah.
When I take advantage of my husband's trips to various conferences,
That's smart.
I sneak out to yarn shops in whatever city we're in, for sure. But no, I don't.
Do you have a dream knitting destination, like yarn?
Oh yeah,
destination?
Oh my gosh, I don't.
All
I don't know.
Peru.
There's like
That's our
7
problem.
different trips. Like
Peru's currently on our obsession.
yeah. Wait, well, and then it's like, well, okay, so now I'm going to plan my trip to Scotland, right? Gotta go to the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Well, I'm in Scotland, so am I going to Scotland and not going to the Shetland Islands? Like, okay, now there's a layover in Iceland. Like,
Yes.
you know, like things could really escalate really quickly.
Now,
Yeah.
what needs to happen is one of us needs to win 70 million, and then we
Yes.
curate a trip for all 5 of us.
That's
And
what
we'll
you should
just
do.
Tour the
Yes,
world.
I know.
Like-
People tell me all that about the you know, cruises. or
Yeah,
yarn.
there you
yeah,
go.
I know. I really should get my act together
Because with those
that looks a
small
lot
kids,
more
it's
fun.
really easy.
I thought you were serious for a minute. Just let them run.
Believe it
Just
or not,
where are they gonna
the
go?
ladies-
Throw a life jacket on him.
Why don't
Off
you-
you go.
Why don't you just buy her kid a hockey stick and completely ruin her life?
There is some good knitting at the rink.
Oh yes,
Guaranteed.
Actually, I have a close friend of mine. She was the class coordinator for a long time, and she learned how to knit because she was bringing her son to a game at the Save On Center.
Yeah.
And she like had nothing to do, and the store was open, so she walked in, and she was like, I gotta go to this hockey tournament. and the staff at the Beehive were like, do you want us to teach you how to knit while you're here? And that's how she started. And
Amazing.
That is awesome.
I think that's how Aaron and I became friends. Our boys used to skate together and
Yep.
then play ball hockey together. Hey, you're knitting. I'll talk with you. You're cool.
Yeah. Because I felt safe sitting next to her and knitting. Nobody would make fun of me or ask me to knit them something as
Yeah.
a joke.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep. She's cool.
Yeah, I always my husband always laughs at me because of any time I see anyone knitting anywhere, like any restaurant or play or anything, I'm like, "Hi, what are you working on?"
My husband has learned to roll with that.
Yeah,
He's like, hey, look, she's a knitter. Let's go have a drink with her.
yeah, right, exactly. Just trying to support the coven, you know.
Yep.
Exactly.
Do you guys have any other questions? Jody's got some great ones.
Jody has fantastic questions.
Oh, I had fun thinking of answers.
When her passion is knitting, it's
What's the most interesting or weird, memorable item a customer has brought into the yarn store that they knit or needed help with?
Ooh, this is actually an easy one because it was fairly recently. I just had a gentleman come in with a blanket that his grandfather had knit on Normandy Beach.
Oh.
And he
Wow.
was in the trenches
Jeez.
and posted. Sorry, I'm getting this wrong because he probably wasn't Normandy Beach, but he was in the trenches in,
Yeah.
I guess, the region for 3 years. And during
Jesus.
World War II, and so he'd knit this blanket using very kind of rudimentary techniques that he
Yeah.
figured out, and how to do color work and combine fibers. And then over the years, he had repaired it. And it was just this beautiful piece of like Canadian history and what knitting
Family
meant to this
history.
guy in the, the
That
depths
needs
of hell.
to go to a
Yeah.
museum.
Oh yeah, so his mother kept it, passed it on to him, and he brought it in because he's getting it repaired, so he can give it to his son.
So is somebody in your store repairing it for him?
Yes, yeah, I've hooked him up with someone who I know who's a textile conservator who can do it properly.
Wow.
And then they're hoping to send it to the
Julia.
museum in Calgary because that's where he's from.
Okay, I expected
Yeah.
a funny story about penises. I
Yeah.
knit penises.
Oh,
That
here, I got
is-
another one.
okay.
For you.
No.
She's got a penis.
First, can we just honor
Oh yeah,
having just been to Remembrance Day? That's an incredible story.
and just
There's such history. This goes to show you how when we're knitting something, it's love in every stitch.
100%.
You know?
Yes.
And
And I
knitting
think it's
just-
just what it can give to you. That
Yeah.
single. I mean, that's something that when I teach knitting to university students is we're really just talking about pulling string through loop again and again and again. It's a series of small motions. It's not complicated. It's not hard. But what that can give to you in terms of mental health, resiliency, confidence, community, connection, like it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
And what you give to another person, there
Yes.
isn't there isn't anything that I don't imbibe with my love for that person. My need to wrap them in safety and love and protection.
And now we want a penis story.
Oh, I don't have.
Yes.
But you were going to tell us a funny story.
Before Tanya cries.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I'll say, well, okay, I have one other kind of, it's not a sad story, it's an uplifting story. But then a quick quick interlude to Penis Land is don't look up lipstick covers on Ravelry.
Okay, so why?
That made Tanya cry for sure.
Why do people want to knit a penis that will cover a lipstick? I do not understand
And
this.
why is there more than one pattern? I ask
Apparently that's a thing. Though.
And also, I've already looked clearly.
I was thinking of the dogs in the lipstick. That's what I was imagining. Sorry, I have dogs.
It's I don't my I just don't get it, but okay.
Okay.
My other memorable project was a gentleman who came in after being released from custody in Vancouver from federal prison. And he had taught himself how to knit in prison using the ends of paintbrushes because they didn't have knitting supplies.
Well, they're kind of stabby.
Because you can stab
I know,
somebody.
yeah, right? So he had figured it out, and he had learned how to double knit.
Wow.
In prison, and brought the stuff. And so he was, someone who really early in life had gone on the made some wrong decisions, and he'd gotten clean in prison and dedicated himself to learning this new skill. And so he came out, and he just came down to the Beehive to show everyone what he had done.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And so we're all standing there, and it was just like we're tearing up, and because the pride on his face when he could walk into the store, and this is something that needless to say, in the prison, people are like, "What the heck are you doing?" And then he comes into the store, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, this is really highly advanced work that you've done." I mean, he was just so proud
Because he knew you guys would see it.
Exactly.
It saved him.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that saved him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's such a good story.
Yeah.
That's going to make me cry.
And I will say,
before Tanya.
And I can't tell you, probably, if you work on the floor at the Beehive, you probably cry once a month because there's so many of these stories. There's so many.
Has he come in since?
He came in a few times, but I don't think he stayed in Victoria. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's okay, Tanya.
There,
It's okay.
this is a therapist's office, so there's lots of Kleenex. It's not just for Tanya.
There's so many stories of people who are knitting and then they pass on, and so then their family members have all these items to knit. I had an experience with that last summer. There was an ad on Facebook for this yarn, but this gentleman was selling his yarn. It was his mom's yarn.
Yeah.
So when I saw the ad, couldn't do anything about it. I had too much stuff going on personally. Saw it again a month and a half later and thought, okay, now I have time. So I reached out and I said, what he wanted was an honest quote about how much his yarn was worth. So I contacted him and I said, I'll come and have a look and we can chat. So I get there and he's got garbage bags of yarn.
Yep.
And lots of it was acrylic, Walmart special kind of stuff. But he had a few really incredible skeins of mohair and that.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got chatting and he was lovely. He was a confirmed bachelor, loved his mom more than anything, missed her more than anything, and talked to me a lot about her, and then said, do you knit? And I said, well, of course. And he goes, would you finish something for me? And I said, absolutely, I would. And then he brings me 3 projects. And I said, okay, I'll tell you what. For those 2 smaller bags of mohair, I will finish these projects for you. And because he'd already said to me, I don't care what I get. It's not about the money. I just want someone to have my mom's yarn.
Yeah, of course.
It's about honoring my mom. And so we are now Facebook friends. Weird story. My daughter moved into the house right beside him.
Oh, that's funny.
And I finished his mom's crochet project, which I'm not a huge crocheter, but I finished it for a baby blanket and a big, huge doily and then a blanket. Now I washed the doilies, but I didn't wash the blanket. And I told him I didn't wash it because I wanted it to smell like your mom. It's going to be really important to you that it smells like her.
Yeah.
And he cried and I cried and we hugged and I had to touch his cat Diesel, and it was, it's just, This is a person I would never have talked about to, but
Oh yeah.
you know,
I've had people walk into the store and cry because it reminds them so much of their family, like of a family member that's passed. Just the fact that there's knitting around. Like it's so visceral.
Yeah, yeah.
and stop talking about.
What other heart-wrenching stories can I pull out here?
I just love that
All of them.
you connect with somebody, you literally connect with their essence, their soul, when you see the colors, the pattern, and the time that they've spent. Like, it's a way of being seen
Yeah.
that I'm not sure like a regular person would understand.
Yeah. And that's something that like as like a bit like a yarn business person, like as an employer, is one of the coolest things, because my employees are usually a mix of kind of students or people who haven't started their careers yet, people who are taking a break from their careers or recently retired, people who are on parental leave, who are like or haven't returned yet to the workforce, that kind of stuff. So often people in periods of transition, and so they want a job that's satisfying them on that creative level. But oftentimes it's because they aren't getting that feedback anywhere else in their life about something that they're really passionate about.
Yes.
And so they come into my store feeling really kind of as an outsider, someone who, you know, they might be proud, but they don't get a lot of confidence or feedback about their work. And then in the time that I'm with them, and that they're employees of the Beehive, they become the experts. And that they become someone that the people who walk into the store come to them for advice and value their advice, and say thank you and come back and say, you helped me and it worked and I want your help again. And so I've seen people go from shaking from fear on their first week to being confident and leaders and training other people, or, you know, confidently giving advice. It's the best. It's the absolute best.
And how do you put that on a resume? I work in a yarn store and I help people curate their project. Means nothing to someone who isn't a knitter.
Yeah.
And to the rest of us, I'm like, oh, you're the master.
I give extremely thorough references because I'm like, well, I'm like, what job did you apply for? What skills did you have to talk about all this, so that I can like figure out, be like, well, she's entering for this GIS job. Yarn math, highly applicable. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, pattern comprehension. She took this pattern from 1956. It was poorly photocopied. She figured out exactly what this lady needed to do on line 56.
That's amazing.
Your staff are magicians.
Yeah.
Is there any? I have another question. Is that okay if I ask a question? Anybody else want to ask? Is there anything happening in the yarn community that is negative, or that you would like to see change, or that is disruptive?
Oh, that's a hard
That's
one.
deep,
That's so
Jody.
good.
That was a good question. Deep but good.
Thanks. I mean, trends come and go. Is there anything that you don't like? Like
in the yarn industry, there's kind of a weird 50-50 where half the new yarns I see tout their eco-friendly, you know, natural fiber, yada yada yada, which is generally speaking what I try to carry in the store, and then the other 50% is garbage. It's like polyester craft product that's intended to be fast fashion knits. It's intended to be disposable,
which is the opposite of what knitting is to me.
And the price is often really high. Like, that's the thing that gets me, is that I look at these novelty yarns and I'm like, you're asking these people to spend, you know, $60 on a top that they're going to wear once or twice, and it's going to shed and it's going to look terrible and it leaks microplastics everywhere. Like, that's what drives me crazy, is like the fast fashion part of it. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite yarn you like to work with?
I don't think I'm allowed to say.
I
am in general. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. No,
Well, what have you knit the most with?
What have I knit the most with? I don't know. I often don't knit with the same yarn
Good for you.
more than a few times, because I'm always trying to knit something else in the store.
That's good.
So I have like 50 million, and then inevitably what I choose will be discontinued.
Do you have a stash at home, or do you just take home from the store?
It's all under my bed, and I can't fit anymore. So
You need a new bed.
Yes, exactly. and then like a yarn will go on sale, and I'll be like, but it's about to leave the store forever. Like, I need to get it. Yeah.
I have to take this home. It's calling my name.
Yeah. That's really hard.
I really
Yeah,
feel
we're
for
just as we fall into all the same traps as our customers too.
So you can relate
Yeah.
on more than one level. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
No.
I totally appreciate you getting a babysitter and being willing to spend a knit night with us.
Well, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come talk about yarn for this long. Oh, can I come back next week? This is great.
You know
We'll
what?
have more wine, promise.
Perfect.
There's always wine, but it would be great to follow up with you in the future too, to see what's changing.
Totally.
And to kind of get your take on how the new space is going. And
well, we've got tons of new stuff coming down the pipeline that I'd love to talk to you guys about. And then also there's just, I don't know, there's always cool things happening in the world of knitting trends and what's going
Yes.
on. Yeah, no,
yeah. We would love that. We are hoping to be able to kind of cast a light on some of the local yarn stores on the island.
Yes, there's so many good ones. We all have fabulous little expertise areas. Like every community should have its own, every neighborhood I think should have its own yarn shop, because there's so many little things that every shop needs to, like, no yarn shop can have everything.
And I appreciate that you are so positive about everybody. You know, sometimes people get into a profession and they're like, no, I'm the best. I do everything the best. But you're very generous with your
Oh my gosh.
compliments.
Can you imagine
I
how
like that.
great would it be to go through life with that big of an ego?
I
That would be
know,
fabulous.
But
Like,
you do encounter that sometimes. So it's refreshing to encounter somebody who is just so positive about everybody has something positive to offer. You're not proclaiming to be the ultimate expert in
well,
everything.
totally. And also, as a downtown yarn shop, like, I love my location and I'm very proud. But if I live in North Saanich, I shouldn't have to drive for 40 minutes to get help on my project. So that's the other thing too. It's nice to have a truly local yarn shop to pop into.
Absolutely.
Oh, North Saanich. I hear you need a yarn shop.
Sydney has one.
Yeah, Sydney has one. It's not. They've got more. It's all quilting. It's quilting and it's on Beacon Avenue. Yeah, they do. It's like multi-textile art stuff.
I don't think I used to live in Sydney. I don't even remember
She's
that.
like, I don't know. Let's go on a road trip.
Road trip.
So yeah, love to, and especially if you can see a place for us and how we can support some of the amazing things that you're doing in the
course.
community. Because for us, community is everything. So anything else you guys want to say?
Thanks for coming. It was so fun to
Thank
hear
you.
your stories.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys, and asking me such great, thoughtful questions and listening to me rant for a long, long time.
So
Not ranting.
Pretty clear you're passionate about this, and so are we.
Yeah. So this was one of our little bit longer episodes, but I'm going to say this. Thank you for joining us this week. A special thanks to Julia for coming and joining us, to our Techno Whiz Matt, and to our sponsors, Chrysalis Counseling and Ingrid Stenerson, registered massage therapist. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook to see photographic evidence of our enthusiasm for yarn and connect with us in a larger community of knitting friends. Subscribe, like, comment. We want to hear from you.
the things.
Yeah, what do you want to hear about? What do you want to talk about? And
Shoot us some questions for Julia next time.
And check out Beehive Instagram, social media.
yes, and say hi to Tatiana for us. Tatiana, I hope you listen to this whole thing so you could hear us say how wonderful you are. Thank you for being a fan. Bye, guys.
Bye.